Hey everybody, doing an update today on my Lending Club portfolio just to talk a little bit about what I'm doing with Lending Club, how it's performing for me, and how I see my strategy going forwards. But before I start, I just want to say thank you to the folks at Lending Club, as well as Rob Garcias, who sent out a nice swag pack, gave me this nice Lending Club messenger bag here, as well as some pens, a t-shirt, which unfortunately went to my wife because it was a little too small for me. I'm a big guy, 6'4", XXL next time, Rob. Anyway, just kidding. But yeah, Lending Club, over the last 2 or 3 years, they've really kind of become the gold standard for peer-to-peer lending, I think, and pretty much everything about the site has set them above and beyond some of the other sites that are out there, like Prosper, I think. They've got a great site. The things that they're doing as far as making sure the loans are listed, that they're with legitimate people that are going to be following up and following through on their loans, and just being a class operation in general. But today I just wanted to do a quick update as far as what I'm doing with Lending Club, how my returns are looking, how I think I'm getting those returns, and so forth. But the last update I did was back in April, I think. Around that time I was getting about a 10.17% return on my money, which is pretty decent, I think, especially when you compare it to if I had that money in a high yield savings account online, where you can't expect much more than a 1% return. Back when I first started Lending Club, I was pretty cautious about the people I was taking loans or giving loans to, investing with. And so most of my borrowers were going to be grade A or grade B, which in some respects limited the amount of interest that I could earn. Since then I've been doing a little bit more as far as accepting lower grade loans, D, F, C, all those grades, because in some respects some of those folks that have such a low grade may actually be a better risk than you might think, just because they have high incomes, and maybe their defaults had a good reason associated with them. But again, I've been examining those loans a little bit more closely and allowing some of those into my portfolio, just because the returns can be a lot better when you do. So in the past probably 6 to 8 months here, I've been choosing some more of those riskier grade loans, adding them in there and seeing how they're doing, and again being very careful about which ones I choose. But in that time my returns have risen from around between 8 and 9% up to where they are now. This month they're at 10.53%. So last month they were at 10.17, the month before that they were at 9.6 or something like that. So they're steadily going up as I add those riskier loans in there. Thankfully, I haven't had any defaults on any of my loans yet. I've got over 100 loans out there, and not a single one of them has defaulted yet. There were a couple that were late, but those people actually caught back up in their payments, and they're still current as of right now. I've had 10 loans that have been paid off early, so again that may limit some of the interest that I'll be making on those particular loans, but again they didn't default, so that's better than nothing there. Again, I'm slowly increasing the amount in my account. I probably got more in there now than I ever anticipated I would, just because I thought it was a lot more risky when I first started, and now I'm actually seeing, even if I did have some defaults, I'm still going to be making better interest here than I would in a high yield savings account or something. Again, I'm still diversifying my loans across a wide number of loans. I'm doing $25 in each, and again diversifying that across a whole bunch of loans. So I've got over 100 loans out there around $25 each or so. So my returns right now, they are at 10.53%, and that's going to put me right in the 53rd percentile, which means I'm getting better returns than 53% of investors and lower than 47%. My goal when I started this was to get my returns better than half of other Lending Club users, which I've now reached that goal, which is pretty cool, I think. But I'm going to continue, I think, along the same path that I've been doing, diversifying across loans and across grades as far as lower and higher interest loans as well. For those who haven't heard in the past as far as what exactly my Lending Club strategy is, I'll just kind of do a quick rundown of that right now. In the past, I've kind of set a few criteria for myself as far as who I'm going to loan money to and who I'm going to invest in. First of all, I've said that I don't want to invest in too many loans that are over around $10,000 or so. The higher the dollar amount, the more nervous I get about lending to people, just because I think they may end up being less likely to pay on those higher dollar figures. Of course, that's not always going to be the case, but I just feel better lending on those smaller loans. I also like to lend to people that have zero delinquencies on their credit report. Now, with having some of those riskier loans that I've been doing lately, that's not always possible. So I've been fudging on that one a little bit. But again, I'm not going with people. I'm not lending to people who have, 2 or 3 or 4 delinquencies. I go with people that have delinquencies that can be explained with some good reason by the borrower. So I also try to lend to people that have good debt-to-income ratios, or better than most. Try to keep it in the range of 20 to 25%. Again, that doesn't happen in every single loan, but I try to keep most of them in that range. I also try to do or lend to people that will answer my questions on the loans. In the past, you could actually ask pretty much any question that you wanted to, and the borrowers would answer those questions. But due to privacy concerns and other concerns recently, Lending Club has taken away that ability for lenders to ask whatever question they want to. You can still choose from a preset list of questions to ask those borrowers, but it really doesn't leave as much flexibility, I don't think. So a lot of people didn't like that move. But in any event, so again, I just try to make sure all the loans that I'm doing are ones that I've researched, that I feel comfortable with, and so far it's served me pretty well. I haven't had any defaults, and I'm making decent interest, over 10.5% at this point, on the loans that I've given. So stay tuned for more Lending Club updates in the future, but I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments here on YouTube or on the post on Bible Money Matters.